we had to go out and buy another Lamborghini.
Well, business was good if you can buy 2 Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to an episode of Major League, the podcast for aspiring entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Don May, and our guest today is the co-founder and executive director of Motorculture Australia, Thomas Fu. Motorculture Australia was launched in 2020 and is a company focused on bringing together automotive enthusiasts, offering a platform for car culture events, experiences, and community building. It aims to celebrate all things automotive, from performance cars to car shows, fostering a culture of passion for cars in Australia. Thomas was kind enough to join me in my home to record this episode. So let's start with your journey. Go back as far as you want. What do you think makes you tick? How did you get to here?
It's probably, I say, probably 5-6 years ago when I started. 5 years ago when I started Motorculture. But before that, I was in management consulting, right? So I learned a little bit. I was there for like a short time, 6 months. And then my business partner and I were actually living at the same time in Brisbane with 2 other housemates, just a little small rental house. And we started our first business in that rental house, in the small kitchen, on the kitchen table. Because I remember distinctively, we had Kanban board that we would use to put up like sticky notes, and we do like what we call like little sprints, right?
Yeah.
Very simple, very simple ones. And the first business that we started was a dropshipping business.
Okay.
Dropshipping. Yeah. So we ordered the product from China.
Yep.
The customer purchases it on our site, and it gets shipped straight from from China to wherever the customer is, right? And like US, America, US, Australia, UK, Canada. Those are like the big fours, right? We did that.
And what were the products?
Portable blender.
A portable blender.
Yeah, portable blenders.
Why a portable blender?
Because it's like such a cool novelty thing. You actually still see them at like Kmart's and whatnot.
Right.
And that was like a popular product like 6 years ago.
So who does it? Gym goers, people like that?
Like gym goers. You put your fruits and water in there. You press a little button. It's portable, right? So it blends it up.
Yeah.
And you can drink it, blend a bit more. However you like it. You can take it on the go.
Did you make money?
Well, that's the thing. COVID actually hit not long after. So shipping was astronomical. It was like through the roof, right? The order would be like $60, and shipping alone, like in China, used to be like $5, $5, right? From China to US or to America. It varies a little bit, but after COVID happened, shipment were getting delayed like no tomorrow, and the cost went up to, I think it was like 30 or 35 or $40, and that's all the margin gone, right? All the margin gone and then some. Plus the product wouldn't get to the customer until like 3-6 months later. So we ended up actually selling the business, which is the actual money that we made out of orders, which was like 10,000 USD. Right? That was like pretty good for like a couple of I don't know, like 20 something year or 18, 19 something year olds. So after that, we started Motorculture, which is a big passion project. The reason we started Motorculture is because my business partner, his name's Tom as well. We would both go to a lot of car events, and we love going to different car events, and we love cars. And some of the car events that we went to, they weren't very well organized. People would do the wrong thing at the car events, like ripping skids, doing burnouts at the entry or at the exit. I'm sure you've seen it done. And there's no sort of regard for safety. So that was like a big concern. You don't feel like you want to belong in this in this sort of environment. It may be fun for at the moment, but it's not sustainable. And the second is there's a little bit of toxicity in the car community. Right? Those type of sort of car community, where you're only allowed to be in a certain group if you have certain cars, and if you don't, then you sort of get bagged. Your cars gets bagged. So that was like the whole big idea for us to, okay, look, we wanted to create a community that everybody can feel like, they can be a part of, they feel welcome. And even to this day, that's still very much the sort of vision and the mission for Motorculture Australia is to create Australia's most diverse car community, or automotive community rather. Yeah. So we, the sort of cars that we have at our events are, anything from 4-wheel drives to 4x4s to, classic cars, muscle cars, European cars, supercars. We welcome everybody at the event, and it's very friendly as well. So that was the whole original idea. We started to introduce the membership model shortly after that, which is how we essentially sort of can scale the business and take it to the next level. People will sign up as a member. They get benefits to the events. But another big thing that we started to try out was actually running the giveaway draws as a incentive and a promotion for people to sign up to be a member. So that worked quite well. We started small.
How does a membership work? Tell me what's the cost of membership?
It starts anywhere from $10.
$10.
Right? And sometimes we run specials as well. It can be as low as like $5. Right?
Okay. So let's say $10 a month, a week.
Yeah, we've got two models, right? We've got subscription and non-subscription.
Right.
So not everyone wants to be on a subscription, as you know. We've got like tens and 20s of subscriptions happening at any time, right? Even just streaming services. I've got like 5 myself.
Yep.
So not everybody wants that. So we offer one-time membership and we offer subscriptions as well. Subscription, you obviously get a lot more.
Yep.
Out of it, but not everybody wants it. So we offer membership. People will sign up. They get access to the events. They get access to the draws that we do. They also get a lot of benefits and discounts with the businesses that we work with. So that was the original business model, and still very much is today. Except we've grown like a lot more. We've done a lot more in different in different channels, right? So the event side of things, we obviously kept on growing. We used to do like 10 events a year when we first started. And then I remember this was probably a couple of years ago. We bumped the number up to about like 50 events a year. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's all over the country?
All over the country, right? We would do one per quarter, one every 2 months in New South Wales, in Victoria, in Queensland. We would do different types of events, like track days. We do 4x4, weekender, which is like a 4x4 camping trip. And last year and this year, we actually have a big focus to sort of scale the event down a little bit, to focus more on, putting on a good show, putting on quality over quantity. And the big differentiation about the car shows that we host, it's very family friendly. So people can bring their kids, bring their dogs, they bring the whole family. It's usually in daytime, it's early Sunday morning or early Saturday morning. They come to have a good time, to interact with us. They see what Motor Culture is up to, what kind of cars we're building, it's giveaway prizes. And, I'm there myself as well, and most of my teams are there. So we love interacting.
So you're traveling the country all the time?
Yeah.
So you go to every single one of these?
I don't actually go to every single one, but we have our events manager and the events assistant. They go to every single event. Wow. I go to all the Sydney and Melbourne ones, and obviously I'm at all the Queensland ones. And sometimes I go to the WA ones.
Right.
That one's hard. Like WA, it's like 6 hours away. It's almost like international.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. They think so too in WA, by the way. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the event side, and then the giveaway side of things as well. We always try to, bring more excitement, into the giveaway side of things to incentivize more people to sign up. So we're always thinking, okay, how can we build, a better car, a more desirable car? So pretty much all the cars that we're building now are one-of-one cars. You don't really see them on the street. They don't come out of the factory like that.
So that's another team that is setting that up?
Yeah. So we've got, so mostly I look after that and my partnership manager. So we've got a partnership team, we've got an events team, we've got a marketing team, a content team, and a sales team, and then myself, which overlooks, everybody. But I am actually getting an operation manager in to sort of take over the operational side of things, so that I can step back a little bit and work on the business. So that's the giveaway side of things. We actually worked with a lot of.
So how do you fund? My head is, how do you fund that then? So like I've looked on the side, I've seen these cars worth, or maybe even a camper van or something like that's 50 grand, 100 grand.
Yeah.
How does the economic model work?
You can't even find any cars nowadays for 50 grand. Hey? Like the cost of cars gone up like so much. Anyway, so it all comes from most of it comes from membership sales,
right?
And then we've got our partnership channel as well, which is partnership and sponsorship fees,
right?
And
so some people are funding that. Because their brands are being associated and you're marketing their brands?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And then the other part comes from, events and merchandise sales, which is like the other part.
Right.
Majority would be giveaway membership sales. And then you've got the sponsorship sales, sponsorship and partnership, and then events. So,
and is it okay if I ask you how many members you have today?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So since we started, we've got over 450,000 members.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is, yeah.
All in Australia?
All in Australia,
So there's no overseas work yet, just all Australian?
No. We actually try to expand overseas, which I'll get into a little bit later.
Okay.
That's like a whole different story.
You're an entrepreneur. I can understand that.
Yeah. Like, tried and failed and all that sort of stuff, learned. But yeah, that's the giveaway side of things. And then, as you were mentioning before, a lot of the partners that we work with, were, they only jumped on board as official partner and sponsors in the past few years. So that's actually a channel that we've been working like really hard to build. So the way it works is, as much Motorculture is a consumer platform, like a B2C platform, in the back end, we've been working really hard to create our B2B platform, right? Because of the events that we do, because of the giveaways that we run, because of the online content that we put out, we actually one of the most influential sort of car brands out there in the car community.
Yeah.
Just to give you a bit of perspective as well, because we did a partners dinner, so I had to get some stats together. On a monthly basis, our social media, our meta side of things, we get about 5 million. Just in reach alone every single month, right?
Yep.
Total impression for just the Meta platform is about 1 billion. We've just hit like 1 billion
Congratulations,
so far.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dom. And the prizes that we've given away worth about $26 million worth of like prize cards that we've given away to people. Over, I think it's about 180 major prize winners. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So there's quite a lot that we offer from the content and sort of reach side of things. So we built the B2B platform a couple of years ago, and we've got some really big brands on board. We've got Supercheap Auto.
I saw that. Yeah, congratulations. Well, that's pretty well the biggest retailer nationally, right?
I know. Yeah. So we're like super stoked to work with them. And there's a lot of alignment in terms of what they do and what we do. They focus very much on customer loyalty. And engaging the community, right? And that's the part that we offer from the event side of things. We had 180,000 event attendees last calendar year. So a lot of opportunities for brands to have a presence there, to engage with car enthusiasts and people who are interested in car brands or car retail shop brands. So that's the event side of things, and then online content as well. We produce a lot of content for parts partners like Yokohama Australia, Yokohama Tires. They're one of our major partners. So we run their tires on all of our 4-wheel drives.
Right.
Method race wheels. Again, we run.
And if I'm a member, do I get some savings with Yokohama or something like that?
Exactly right. Yeah. So we work with them to give value back to our members.
Yep.
Right, because that's the whole business model. It's all about giving more value back to the community.
Yep.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's part of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So where to from here? How does it scale out from here? How does it get bigger? I mean, that's a huge amount of, super fans.
Yeah.
Not everybody's a car fan. I'm a car fan, but I wouldn't say, what's the proportion, the size of the prize?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like we obviously keep upping the price size itself. We do like big 4x4 package now.
Yep.
That's 400K, even $500,000. Some of these vans are crazy. You should see them. They're like you've got like a massive 250K caravan, on like airbags, solid construction, made to go off road. Like Bruder is one of the guys that we work with, and Mountain Trail RV. They're really like top end market sort of construction for the caravans. And then you pair it with a American truck, which now costs like 200K, 250K if you want to do it up, with a canopy, big wheels, big lift, and all that. So that alone is like $500,000 package, right? So it's all like.
And that's one giveaway.
That's one giveaway, yeah. That's our sort of big signature giveaway. And we run it every single month. We have a big 4x4 one going every month, and they usually run for about 4 to 5 weeks. So run for a little bit longer. And then we've got like the smaller giveaways. When I say small, I mean like 100K, 150K, like small, relatively speaking.
And are they all brand new every time, or do you use some used? Because I saw it was like some Holdens and things like that. So obviously there's
That's
some
right.
used
Yeah,
cars.
yeah. Not necessarily all brand spanking new. Sometimes, yeah, like you said, like the Holdens, you can't get them brand new. So we try to find cars like as new as possible. We actually managed to find a GTSR, HSV GTSR from 2017 with only 30 kilometers on the clock.
Wow.
We bought it from a collector.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are like rare finds. You don't
Yeah.
you don't always find them.
Yeah.
So just things like that. We do Euros, muscle cars like HSVs, and like smaller sort of value cars. Yeah.
So take us right back to the beginning when you're thinking of this idea.
Yeah.
How confident were you? And because, somebody who's watching this, young entrepreneurs, I think one of the reasons people don't take the risk is it's because they put so much doubt in their mind.
Yeah.
Did you have the confidence or did you have doubt?
Yeah. Look, a bit of both, right? I'd be lying if I said, I knew exactly how it was going to work out, I'm super lucky to have my business partner. He takes like a bit more risk than I do, right? I've learned a lot now, right? I've learned a lot that, to succeed in business, you got to take calculated risk. But back then, man, we had no idea what we were doing.
So tell us about each other's roles then at that pivotal point.
Yes, yeah.
What's he saying? What are you saying? And how do you do this partnership?
Yeah. So I was more so working the back end side of things.
Right.
So Tom, my business partner, he used to be like in front of the camera, doing all the ads, talking to partners. He was like the face of the brand.
Yeah.
Right. I would, stay in the back and just work on the back end side of things and, make sure everything runs right. But sort of over time, I obviously grew out of that. And we've got like a really good team now, right? Jake is like the face of the brand. So I don't have to like worry about that sort of stuff. But yeah, like to answer your question, yeah, there was obviously a little bit of doubt, but it was mostly just two guys who really wants to like just have a go. You know what I mean? We've done like the first drop shipping business. We've had our first taste of, great, we can make, make a bit of money and, do what's exciting. And I think the really good thing about doing motorculture and super lucky for me as well, it's that, it's my passion. That's what we wanted to get into. We wanted to do something that we love. So it doesn't feel like work every day. Because we know we have to work hard, right? And when you're doing something you love, you tend to take a little bit more risk. You tend to be a little bit more sort of risky with your decisions because you've got this almost like, I'm all in sort of attitude.
Passion.
Passion. Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, I've had a good run. I've enjoyed doing what I'm doing.
And you're young. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he was definitely the little bit more of a riskier type of person. So, he sort of push the business along. Like quite
go back to that relationship because a lot of partnerships, especially in the early days when everyone's got different opinions. How do you both work together? You're in the back. You said he was more on the front. He's more risky. You're doing more of the back end, thinking of all the numbers.
Yes.
Did you make really clear dissecting? This is what you do. This is what I do. Or did you have a lot of arguments?
I think when we sort of started to really grow, when we ran the first few events, when we did the first few giveaways, we had like a lot of members sign up. That's when we started to see, okay, there's going to be a lot of success. I think back, then we were still trying to work things out because it was just two of us, and then we started, hiring a couple of people. But we had like no process in place.
Who were the first people you hired?
It was interesting. A couple of friends, right? We hired a photographer first because we need to put out content. And then we hired a customer service girl.
Okay.
Who, her name's Jian, and she still works at Motorculture. She's a marketing coordinator now.
Right.
So she still works here.
Yeah.
Our retention is actually crazy good.
And what model do you both own all the equity, or did you give out any equity along the way?
No, 50-50.
50-50,
yeah. So it's still very much bootstrapped to this point. And I think that's the one thing that I'm like super proud of, to be honest. Like we didn't require any sort of outside capital. We just, grew it, the way we did. And man, we took risk along the way as well. Like there was definitely a pivotal point, right? Where, we started to get like quite big, right? And we needed to put sort of process in place. We need to find the right person to manage the team. We did that. And that's how we were able to sort of continue to grow motorculture, by doing more events, doing more draws, attracting more member signups, creating this new B2B channel. That was a pivotal point when we realized this is like a serious business. to make it sustainable, we need to put the right process in place.
And what went wrong, and how did you deal with it?
Good question, man. There were so many things that went wrong along the way. We've got a funny saying that we say every single year there has to be something that goes wrong, right? Every single year, like something major that goes wrong. I'm just trying to think. This is an interesting story. This is probably a couple years in. We had like really good success, right? We started to sort of keep upping ourselves. Okay, what can we do next as our giveaway? So I think we got to the point where we said, okay, we need to do a Lambo. We need to do a Lamborghini Huracan, right? So we went out, we bought a Lamborghini Huracan. It was an orange one. It's funny because I don't think I've ever told this story before. We went out and bought an orange Lamborghini Huracan. Great car, awesome. We filmed the content, the campaign's like about to go live in a couple of weeks. All the advertising's done, all the photos done.
This is a big deal. This is big money.
Yeah, big money. I think, man, it was like 300.
And all paid out of your cash flow of what you're building.
Correct.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
So we decided, okay, let's do some, bit more of an interesting content, because it was just like myself and Tom and a couple other staff back then. So it was so much freedom. We can do whatever we want. You know what I mean? We can't do it now because we got like processes and say,
we'll come back to that. That's interesting that you're saying that. But yeah,
but back then we had so much freedom. We can like post whatever content we want. We can go make whatever content we want.
Right.
So Tom at the time had a Golf R. It was modified stage 3. We wanted to make a TikTok video. TikTok was like popular back then. Like it just started, right? Wanted to make a TikTok video where we would race the orange Lamborghini with the Golf R, and but we would stage it to get views, right? We would make the Golf R win, just to create some virality, right? It was just like a little side project, nothing to do with motorculture, for like our little TikTok project. So we went to a park. This was Thursday afternoon, right? No one was there. We were like as safe as we can be for like two 20-year-olds, right? We had one of our staff wearing a high vis, even doing the countdown, like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
No one was at the park.
What inspired you? Was it some sort of television show or something? Was it a YouTube video?
Yeah, it was those like early car wow videos where you do like a little drag race. But this was like meant to be like a little skit,
Yeah.
The Golf would just take the win, staged. Anyway, so we got to the park. It was like probably like a car park, empty car park, maybe like 200 meters long.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. Our guy came in the middle. I was in the Lambo, orange Lambo. He was in the Golf R. And, our guy said, 3, 2, 1, go. And then I stepped on it like halfway so that the Golf can win. The Golf like won just by like a tiny bit. And that was like pretty much the end of the video. Right. And then as we, packing up, ready to leave, we saw that one of the residences there took a video, right, of us racing. So I thought, okay, right, you know what? He's going to send it to the police or something. So I better go and talk to him.
Yeah.
So because it's a big property, I drove the Lambo, drove into his like long driveway, got up to him. I'm like, hey, mate, how you going? Look, I know, we might have been a bit, noisy over there. Just wanted to tell you that we're just filming a little TikTok video. Well, I said YouTube video because TikTok was like a new thing back then. I said, we're just filming a little YouTube video, we're not actually racing, we just, we finished filming now. We're just going to go. I don't want to like, disturb you or anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's all cool. No problem. And he actually walked around the Lambo. He's like, oh, sick car, man. I'm like, yeah, look, take a look around. It's a cool car, Lamborghini. Sit in it as well if you want to. And then we left. We thought nothing of it. And then 2 weeks later, this was in Indooroopilly police station. Called up my business partner Tom. Because he got the rego off the Golf. Hey mate, this is whoever from Sergeant whoever from Indooroopilly police station. Can you please come in, have a chat? Look, it's nothing major. Don't lose any sleep over it. Right? So obviously, Tom went in because he said, don't lose any sleep over it. It's no big deal. Right? So Tom went in and he said that, look, mate, we got video evidence of you doing street racing. So as of right now, your license is suspended and you have to go to court.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
And then the police said, who was the who was the other guy in the Lamborghini? Tom actually first said, I don't know who it
Yeah,
is.
but in the end, that's not going to wash, right?
No, but I mean,
No.
they were always going to find out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we both actually end up having to go to court. We got like the best lawyers involved, actually. We got
Yeah.
like the best traffic lawyers involved, but because it was street racing, because it wasn't even speeding or anything, right? It was street racing, which is
Illegal.
yeah, which is like a type, I think it was a type 1 or type 2 hoon charge. And it's instant disqualification for 6 months and like a fine, right? And you have to go to court for it. So we went to court. The lawyer actually asked, look, do we have to suspend these guys' license? Because the judge was like, this is not a big deal. But because of the law, we actually both end up losing our license for 6 months. So that was horrible. But also the Lambo and the Golf were both immobilized because they had to put the little police sticker on there that says the car is I think they call it immobilized. And if you do it again, then they confiscate it. They're so strict. Yeah.
So a $400,000 to $500,000 car, you can't give it away now?
Yeah, exactly. And
So you got this investment?
they were nice enough for us to take the car back to our shop, right? They were nice enough for us to do that. Otherwise, the car normally would just stay on the side of the road, which is why you see cars on the side of the road, right?
Yeah.
With the little police sticker that says the car can't be moved. But they were nice enough for us to move it back. But yeah, we could move the car, obviously, and it's got a freaking police sticker on it. So we had to go out and buy another Lamborghini.
Well, business was good if you can buy 2 Lamborghinis.
Yeah. Like we wouldn't have been able to buy a third Lamborghini,
No.
but we could squeeze.
You sound like Elon Musk with the last rocket.
yeah. Look, we could squeeze out a second Lamborghini. Like it wasn't easy, but we made it work because the campaign had already planned and stuff. So yeah, that's what we did.
And what happened to this Lamborghini eventually? Did it get...
Oh, like after 6 months,
Yeah.
after you get your license back and after the time has lapsed, then the sticker gets taken off. But if you're a repeat offender, they will confiscate your car, whatever car you're driving at the time.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't matter if it's
Yeah.
Camry that you're driving at the time or Lamborghini driving at the time, they confiscate it.
Yeah.
And crush it or something.
So take me on the journey then. So like there's 2 of you, then you've hired 2 people, and you're starting to build a team.
Yeah.
You said that you can't be as free as you used to be.
No.
Tell me what's happening in the business that you can't be as free. Is there, because of these sort of rules, someone's checking you? Or you guys own the company. How come you're restricted?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because we're a very public-facing company, right?
Right.
It's all about sort of how we portray ourselves, right? Because like hundreds of thousands of people are looking at what we're doing, every single second.
Yep.
Partners as well, because we've got like sponsorship deals, we've got partnership deals with them now, so we've got to portray ourselves to a certain standard.
Yeah.
And I guess the policies and procedures more so came in when we really need to scale, right? When we need to scale from like 4 people to what we are now, which is around 15 people.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to have like processes in place.
So your whole team is 15 people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, Don. Yeah.
That's good that you've stayed that small.
Yeah. That's what I actually try to be. I'm very passionate about tech as well. Other than cars, I want to use utilize automation and now AI to achieve a lot of the efficiency, work efficiency. And I encourage the whole team to use AI as well. It's going to help them do their job better. It's rather than thinking of it as a replacement of your job, think of it how can I leverage it to make my output better, to make me more efficient, so I can focus on the bigger vision things. Right, that's what I tell everybody. So as we started to grow, as we started to sort of manage different types of people, they're all high performance, but they all have their own sort of emotion, intelligence, and different ways of doing things and different ways of perceiving information. Right, comes down to like a personality thing. So we needed to have systems and processes in place.
And did you have mentors? How did you come up with this stuff? Did you just do it as you went and then we made mistakes like the Lamborghini? Or did you have some mentors along the way?
Bit of both, to be honest. Bit of both. Like I was never a great manager at the beginning. I won't lie. I've neglected Gian, for like 6 months, but she was super loyal. She stuck with us, when I was like not a great leader. So I guess the sort of turning point on how I sort of start to have a lot more Development was when we hired our first operations manager. She then became GM. Her name was Maria. So she put a lot of the processes and system in place because she came from a bit of a corporate background. So she used to do sales at Telstra and then Go One, which is an educational platform. She was like the top star.
How did you find people like this?
Interestingly, through connections, through like personal connections.
And is that like with your whole team you found it through connections and recommendation, or do you go through
both? Yeah, so half probably through connections, the other half through Seek. Like just normal advertising, seeking recruiters. And Maria was great in terms of, she put, processes and procedures in place so that we can continue to sort of grow. Otherwise, it would just be no chaos. All the information that everyone needed was in my head. If anyone needed anything, they would have had to ask me. But if we operate on that, I would be asked like a million questions a day. So I needed to empower, different people to lead different teams. So for example, like the marketing team, we hired a marketing manager. His name's Jose. He's like a weapon. So he leads a team
I like the
of
name. He's a weapon. Okay, good.
Yeah, he leads 4 people in his team. Jake, who's the face of motor culture, leads a couple of content guys, videographers and photographers. And then we've got the events manager with an event assistant. We've got a couple of sales guys as well. So we've got different sort of team managers now leading this team. And I just talk to the managers. I don't have to sort of worry about the nitty-gritty stuff. And I sort of work with them on strategies and the bigger picture sort of thinking and just making sure that there is alignment between all the different departments.
And when you think forward now, I mean, you and I spoke earlier and you was talking about growing 30% a year.
Yeah.
So how do you grow 30% a year? That's the compounding numbers.
Yeah.
How are you framing that in your mind? I mean, put that out 3 years from now, that's well more than a doubling down.
I know. Isn't that the $1 million question? Yeah. How do we keep on growing year on year? Right. So that's the question that I ask myself every single day.
And do you have to? I mean, you're building a great community. You love it that much. Why growth versus how does it all play out in your mind?
Yeah, look, the biggest thing for us the last couple of years has been the partnership channel. That really sort of propelled like a different revenue stream for us, leveraging existing processes of what we do. The other one is ramping up what we do, ramping up the giveaway side of things. We do 6 to 7 draws now per month, right? Which is
that's a lot.
Crazy. We do like more than 1 draw a week. Jake's like in front of the camera, changing life more than 1 time a week. So I've got we built our own e-com platform as well to keep up with the scale. And part of the initiative of growth is introducing a new type of experience. And that's when MCA Games came in. It took us like 6 months to develop, but the platform itself took us about 18 months to develop.
So explain it.
So the MCA Games is it's a mobile-based game. It's a different type of experience where you don't have to get into the draw, wait a month or wait 2 days or wait a week for the results to see if you're the winner. It's a fully interactive game, skill-based. If you are the player with the highest score, then you win a little prize. So it's a different type of experience that we want to engage people, outside of what they're already doing.
And how's it going?
It's going well. We actually did a little bit of internal testing. It hasn't been fully rolled out to the market yet because with technology we're still dealing with we wanted to make sure it's a mature product before we fully push it out to the market. What about you, Don? Because I know for during Domino's, right? It was you guys went through like an explosive sort of growth phase. How did you like achieve that? What did it come down to?
Yeah, and I can tell you that there's moments when we grew too fast.
Yes.
And sometimes you outgrow the skill set because we're in 12 geographies in the end. So it was definitely challenging building teams all over the world. We doubled down. Well, we grew 50% over between the beginning of COVID and post-COVID. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. But also you get sometimes hangover. And that's why I'm asking that question, because this is, the cycle of a business. How do you make sure that you can continue to grow without eventually breaking some of the things that you build? And
what was it for you? Because for me, it was those systems and processes in place, right?
Yeah, so sometimes you don't realize it until you get to the next phase of what might go. We went through inflation, right? And And so then as we had to shift our business model of how we were pricing with our customers and so on, we realized that we need to develop new skill sets. Because,
Right.
I mean, for most of my life, prices didn't have to change very much year over year over year. And also they had to change quite a lot.
Yes.
And how do you do that? How do you keep customers along the way? So we needed to make sure that, we were building the depth, the experience, new ways of thinking, because it's shifted so much.
Yeah.
Things pivoted so fast. So,
And I
no,
think
it's a
you
good
had
question.
I think you had a very big focus on technology, wasn't it? That was like
Definitely. That was a big boom period. So that was around 2005, 2006 we started. And then the app, I think, was around 2008, 2009. And we really, putting a pizza store in everybody's pocket was a big breakthrough, because ultimately we solved people's problems. 3 problems to order pizza before 2008, 2009 is, if I order a pizza, when will it arrive?
Yes.
And if someone quotes you 30 minutes on the phone, but it arrives in 15 minutes, or if it arrives in 45 minutes, both's a bit of a problem, because I was thinking 30, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of minutes either side. So we invented Pizza Tracker, which allowed you to track it.
I love that. I do remember when that first came out, because I used to order from Eagle Boys.
Right.
And then I started ordering from Domino's.
Yeah.
Because the tracker thing.
Because it solved people's problems, right? So it was a customer solution. The second thing was that if you're ordering pizza in those days over the phone, lost in translation, right? Bad headsets, sometimes language differences. So in the end, you just say, look, I'll just have a Suprema, Meat Lovers, whatever. But with the app, we allowed you to customize your products. And now I got my pizza. So that was a big breakthrough. And the third big breakthrough was that in those days, you used to have to collect coupons. So people would have magnets on their fridges or in drawers of coupons. Well, with the app, you always had value because there was always deals coming to you.
Nice.
So solving 3 big problems just changed the projection of the business.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you guys the first to sort of do a big national rollout like that?
Yeah, and not only the first on scale, we weren't the first to do pizza ordering online.
Right.
There was around the 2000 period, but what changed by about 2005, 2006, HTML1, there started to be Lego block things that were built on top of that, so that there was now video content that you could add on there.
Yes.
It all got cleaned up by HTML5, but in that period, there was no reason online didn't work in 2001 is because when you went on there, you got a lesser experience than you could just do in the outside world.
Yes.
Right. But as soon as video content, like you could track things and you could do visual things, it changed the whole experience. And then the iPhone, massive breakthrough.
Yeah.
That was a real punt. And that's really what lit it all up, putting a pizza store, being accessible anywhere to order pizza anytime. It's funny because you ordered pizza on the phone.
Yes.
You ordered pizza on a phone, but this phone did a lot more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's crazy. I think you guys did some pretty experimental stuff as well, right? The
Yes.
little delivery robots.
Yes.
Was it like a drone thing as well that I saw?
Yeah. And a lot of people thought they were just gimmicks, but they actually genuinely started out as real reasons. One of the things, we were in Silicon Valley once and we were listening to, where business was going and we got to meet this gentleman, Dr. Astro Tell, and he's the head of Google X back then.
Yes.
And when he started talking about drones and robots, and you started thinking, wow, the cost of delivery with people versus the cost of delivery with automated delivery plus the safety factor, because, these things are a lot safer. You just went, we got to be there first.
Yes.
But then, like a lot of entrepreneurs, we started working with companies only to realize we shouldn't invest.
Yeah.
We should only partner because we're not robot people.
Yeah.
We're not drone people.
So did you guys invest in those companies?
We didn't end up investing. We first of all started working with them, and then we just started doing partnerships where we were the project partner with, like in New Zealand, we were literally doing drone deliveries.
Yes.
The odd don't, not many, but enough to just prove out the proof of concept.
Yes.
And we were putting all our time and energy to actually do that.
Yeah.
With the Pizza Hut, what were the problems? How is safety with a drone? Was there noise? There's cameras all over. All these sort of things. You're figuring out what are all of these issues. Yeah. And then the drone company, so they got the benefit of that, and then they're creating drones. I suppose that led to my question back to you, like, one of our challenges, because we could, we did, and then a lot of those, we were doing cloud kitchens before cloud kitchens existed, because we thought, well, we've got a pizza store, why don't we do other things with it?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's a question back to you, like you're doing all this different stuff. Yeah. How does it align to your purpose and your mission?
Yeah, well, big part of our core value, is innovation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Always been open to things,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is why I'm so open to AI. Well, part of the reason why I'm so open to technology as well. It's always about sort of trying new things, experimenting with new things.
Mm.
One of the sort of well, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Mhm,
Like for
mhm.
example, this year, we tried to implement a massive new marketing system that completely failed
Mhm.
because of the partners that we were working with underestimated the scale of work needed to be done. So
Common
the,
thing, yeah.
yeah, super common. So I learned a lot from from that part, but it still doesn't deter me from trying new things. Like the
Mm,
MCA games I was telling you about,
mm,
6 months of development, like full time,
mm,
multi-team sort of development.
mm,
That took a lot of resources,
mm,
and uh, these are sort of the things that that I sort of invest in.
mm.
It's like you don't need every single thing to work. You just need one of them to sort of hit the jackpot or
Yeah,
to work well
yeah.
for the business to keep on growing. So
And
that's what
tell
I'm focusing my energy on.
yeah, and tell us about the international growth that didn't work.
Yeah,
Why didn't it work?
I
What did
think
you do and
I
what
think
happened?
that's one of those like big sort of mistakes or money costing or big lessons I learned every
Yeah,
year. The first was the Lambo, and then this year was the new marketing system.
yeah.
And I think last year or two years ago was the international expansion, right?
Right.
We wanted to expand to the UK
Mhm,
because the sort of price competition industry in the UK has been around for since 1990s.
mm,
Very huge, very massive there. So we thought, okay, great. We've got what we're doing here is similar enough
mm,
to compete with price competition companies in the UK.
mm,
Let's give it a crack.
mm,
And back then, obviously, we we tended to take a lot more risk than we do now.
mm, mm,
So we partnered with a couple of business partners,
mm,
send them over to the UK, and we would provide the infrastructure, the
mm,
support, and the funding as well.
mm,
Um, so it started off okay, and then over time, it just didn't quite work out.
mm,
Like the margin wasn't there, financially didn't make sense, but
mm,
the sort of business partnership
mm,
actually was sort of the bigger problem, right? We didn't align on values
mm,
and sort of the way that we do things, and I guess that ultimately was sort of the biggest issue that the
mm,
partnership didn't work out.
mm,
So we lost a bunch of money, parted ways, and yeah. And then after that, I decided, two things. I'm going to focus a lot more in Australia
mm,
because there's still so much growth that I can do here,
mhm,
right? And that's when we work on the partnership channel. We want
mhm,
to focus so much on that. Second, wanted to invest in the team, so it allows me to free up a bit more time because I was wearing thin.
mm,
I had to do a lot of the sort of support, sort of technology supports. When the UK was running, and I was both Tom and we were traveling between UK and Australia while
mm,
looking after the Australian business. Um, so the other thing is partnering with people that aligns with you.
mm,
Right? Doesn't matter what they provide. For me, if our values aren't the same, like life value, personal value aren't the same, and ethical value aren't the same, it's never going to work out.
no,
That was the biggest thing that I
yeah,
learned from that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So where to from here? How big does it get? I suppose that's the first part of the question. And the second part of the question is, what will you be doing in 10 years from now?
Good question. My goal has always been build a $1 billion business, right? A unicorn. That's always been my dream.
That's from a valuation or from a trading point of view?
Um, Good question. I've never actually dived that.
Is it worth $1 billion or does it turn over $1 billion?
I think turning over $1 billion is worth a lot more because
Okay.
valuation, it can be a little bit fugazi.
Yep.
So for me, it's probably more the tangible stuff.
Yep.
So that's a big goal of mine, and motoculture, it has a lot of potential to get there. And I'm going to continue to work on motoculture,
Mhm.
right? Because it's a passion project. It's a brand that that gives people hope,
Mm.
that change people's lives. Not just on the giveaway side of things, but people come to these events.
Mm.
They feel like they can be part of something.
Yeah.
It's a community platform,
Mm.
and I believe that it doesn't matter how the technology landscape changes or how the macro environment changes. People will always hold on to hope.
Mm.
People will always want a place where they feel they can be part of.
Mm.
So motoculture, I'm going to continue to grow it as much as I can, the 30% year-on-year growth.
Mhm.
I'm also working on a couple of little projects on the side,
Mhm.
property platform that's very much tech driven on the side as well, which is why I'm hiring a ops manager
Okay. Yep.
so that he or she can take over the operational side of things a bit more. Gives me a bit more time to work on building relationships, building I guess new sort of personal skills to sort of grow motor culture to the next level, and give me a bit more time to experiment with different things.
So 10 years?
5 years.
It's $1 billion turnover in 5
To get
years.
there in 5 years. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Love the ambition.
Yeah.
So you mentioned AI. How are you actually using AI? Because it's big buzzword, most valuable companies in the world right now, accelerating.
Yes.
But a lot of people, where am I actually using it?
Yeah.
How's value being created?
Yeah. Look, I think one of the this is going to sound cliche, but one of the most used ones is actually ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Right. I use it on a daily basis. I tell everybody, use it on a daily basis. It helps you to write better. It helps you to sort of do exercise better critical thinking because you can think of things that you can't think of. And another tool that we use, this is more video editing related. It's one called Opus Clip. What it does is it cuts down a long form video into short form videos like reels, and reels and sort of TikTok videos. We produce a lot of YouTube videos for the builds and for the partners and for our build journey or even just vlogs, right? And you put it into this little app called Opus Clip, and it's actually just a web app. You upload the video, and it cuts it down into 10 like a short form 30-second videos that you can just post.
Impressive.
And imagine back in the day you would have someone spending probably 5-6 hours editing just this little videos 30 seconds, right? You gotta do the subtitle, you gotta make sure they match up. And the thing about the long form video is because they're long form, you have to cut them into like a top section and then a bottom section for them to fit the portrait mode. Opus does all that in 2 minutes. Crazy. It's like it saves so much time. Like if you jump on Motor Culture, go to some of the reels that you see. If it's got like 2 screens and it's got it looks like it came from a YouTube video. It's from Opus Clips, and we actually developed in the process of developing a little bit of our own AI tools as well, because we get a lot of customer inquiries through email. So we're working on integrating ChatGPT into Gmail. So that by the time when we open up an email, a response is automatically composed for us. All we have to do is just click send. So, we're feeding it, our knowledge base. We're making sure that all the answers are relevant and the tone is not in a, like robot tone. It's in a normal sort of human friendly tone. So
nice work.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier, social media is obviously a big way you've been building your business.
Yes.
Any other forms of media you've been using?
Yeah, look, social media is definitely the big one. Being an online brand, we use, obviously your Meta, which is your Facebook, Instagram, and Google, which is all your YouTube, display, ads, stuff. But we also work with a lot of influencers and partners. This is actually something that we started working on like very recently in the past 12 months. So, for example, we worked with Superior Engineering to build this, one of a kind sort of Hilux, 4-inch lift, full, coil conversion. It's crazy because that car is a like the Hilux is a 50 grand car, but the build, the parts alone and the labor alone were about 70K. So just big things like that.
Our fans do crazy things to cars.
Exactly, yeah. And that was a collaboration project with with Superior Engineering. And we work with little influencers here and there as well to sort of really spread the word out there about what motor culture does.
And what are you driving right now?
Well, look, I've got an Aston Martin Vanquish. I'm a huge Bond fan.
Yeah.
So I love that car. Every time I jump into the car, I feel like I'm James Bond.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car.
Yeah. What about you, Don? What do you drive?
I've got a Brabus, a G-Wagon Brabus.
That's nice.
Yes.
You don't see them in Australia very often.
No, it's pretty rare. It's a little bit loud, so sometimes I've got to sort of try to tone it down, but it's fun. It's like a truck.
You don't like the attention, Don?
No. It's black and it looks a bit more conservative, but it is, it's a crazy car. A lot of fun.
Your daily?
It would be my day. I've also got a Taycan Turbo S.
Oh, nice.
So the electric car does some pretty fun things as well. But I do like the Brabus a lot more.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah. And favourite all-time car? Dream car.
Dream car, man. That's probably a Pagani Huayra.
Wow.
Yeah. It's hard because look, when you like work in sort of what I do, all I see is just cars, custom cars, different, all sorts of different cars. I've had like a Lamborghini Huracan. I actually have a couple Ferraris as well.
Congratulations.
I didn't mention, but I don't drive them like too often.
Yeah.
Those are more the weekend cars.
Yeah.
And I've got like a company car, which is a Raptor. It's more of my daily, and the Aston.
Yeah.
Because it's way easier to drive than the Ferraris.
Raptors are cool.
Yeah, and it's like I've driven like most cars on the market, and my standard is like so high now that I don't know, like the Ferraris are excellent cars. They handle like crazy. I take them on track as well. Awesome track car. You can't beat them. And the only car I can think of is like hypercar. Like it has to be like a Bugatti or Pagani. That's where my next sort of goal would be.
Well, with the progress you're making, 30% compounding growth, I'm sure it's not too far away within the 5 years. So congratulations, Thomas. What a story. And it's quite an interesting journey. And I just can't wait to see where you go from here. I'll be following you from the sidelines.
Yeah, thank you, Don. Appreciate it.